The man is waiting, you've got to jump into action. Power bombs, drop kicks, and Drago Fighters faction. Quake, tsunami, hurricane, typhoon, and lightning. Shake the earth and tear the sky. Evil's on the ropes, you guys. Ringurangers wins!
Welcome to the Super Sentai Brothers. This is episode 1.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of Casino Ringuranger, the internet's best and only podcast dedicated to Puroresu Sentai Ringuranger.
Okay, so sorry, Matt, I'm interrupting you. I recognize that. So we were, first of all, live episode. Matt's over.
Yes.
We actually we weren't originally going to do an episode this week. We hate to miss, but things have just been a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there was like Passover and Easter on the same weekend.
It's been nuts. But somebody sent, it was somebody from Twitter. I'm super sorry. I can't remember who.
Yeah, every time that there is something from Twitter, I'm always like, oh, right, one of our Twitter followers sent us something. And then I don't remember who it is, and I don't remember when they sent it. And, like, I probably forgot to favorite it on Twitter, so I can't even look it up.
But anyway, so somebody sent us a link to this episode, and it's so off the rails crazy that we're going to do a special episode. So there's no 5 stars this week, guys. We know, and also the title needs workshopping. I think we can admit.
Listen,
that.
if there were going to be more episodes of this one, maybe we would workshop it. And I know we already used Casino Royale in the Creature Royale.
Yeah, we did.
But you know what?
I did not think about that. Actually,
there are 2 Casino Royale movies. As you can find out if you listen to my other podcast, Spectre, where we have watched both of them. One of them is very good. One of them is buck wild.
Yeah, we were actually over, and Beth and I fell asleep through the first Casino Royale.
Yeah, well, you were awake through the first 2 of the 7 mini movies that comprise Casino Royale.
That is a very, very strange movie. Okay, so anyways. Say it again, man. I'm gonna mess it up.
I might be saying it wrong too. Puroresu Sentai Ringuranger.
Yeah, and it is. I can't believe, because we've talked about this. I can't believe we have never found this before.
Yeah, I know, because we also didn't know about Aztec Kaiser.
Okay, yeah, good point.
Yeah. There is a wealth of tokusatsu shows that I think I know stuff about tokusatsu shows.
And then it turns out.
Yeah, it goes way deeper and way weirder than I am otherwise familiar with.
Yeah, so it is a Sentai show, but it seems like it's outside the normal scope of Sentai stuff. I'm not totally sure.
I'm not sure exactly what year it's from. It seems like it's sort of mid to late 90s-ish.
Yeah.
But, it's not just, the 1998 year Sentai show.
We've got 1 episode of it. So if anybody else knows where we can find more episodes of this thing, we might just have to do this next season. I don't know. So anyways, let's just get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't guessed from the name, it is a pro wrestling themed Sentai show.
Yes.
And so let's just get into it.
Okay, so we start off in this episode, and the first character that we're meeting is our Red Ranger. This guy,
because he's dressed all in
right.
He
is dressed all in red, and he looks like a handsome generic hero. He is late teens, maybe early 20s.
Yeah, he's wrestler range, or I'm sorry, Ranger.
Yeah.
Ranger range?
Ranger age.
Ranger age range.
Yeah.
Did you see, by the way, the Ranger Danger guys posted the casting call picture photo? Poster. And the requirements for auditioning for a Ranger are, first of all, not any acting experience.
Well, I mean, you've seen the shows.
Yeah. The casting requirements are handsome / pretty, can do sick flips. Those are the requirements.
Hey, listen, I mean, that's all that Jason David Frank had, and he was on that show for 30 years.
Okay, so, again, our very first character, our Red Ranger.
Yeah, this guy's name is Koji.
Yeah.
We don't find this out now. We will hear it soon.
Yeah, but his name is Koji.
He's wearing like a red tracksuit with like white stripes down the side.
And he is, it doesn't start off glamorous. He's just like mopping.
Yeah. Well, he is mopping like an entire wrestling dojo.
Yeah.
So this is something, and I don't know a ton about Japanese pro wrestling, but from what I understand, there is like, when you are coming up in Japanese pro wrestling, this is just something that you do. It's like apprenticeship style thing. Like you are a young boy and you work in the studio or the dojo and you mop everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is like, okay, so he's not just like a janitor. This is part of the wrestler. Okay, that actually makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Given everything.
Given what is going to happen,
that's like
that
everything
makes a
that's
lot more
about to happen.
sense.
Thank you. So he is just, he's just hanging out, mopping, and we get like a quick montage of it, and I think it's just, we see him doing a few things. Like he's mopping, and he's like taking out some trash, and like blah, blah, blah.
But as he's taking the trash out, like, he's got like the bag, but instead of just throwing it into the dumpster, he like turns around and like suplexes it into the dumpster.
So we're getting very early on that Koji has a dream.
Yes. Koji is like using his young boy work to like Daniel-san Karate Kid style train himself.
So anyway, so we finished this montage, and he like the sun is down now, and we see that like everybody else has left, and he's like locking the place up, and he just starts heading home. As he is heading home, we see like some action happening in the shadows, and it's a pretty classic Ranger-y, like we don't know exactly what's happening, like something is happening in the shadows.
Yeah.
And then we see a sort of passerby just like walk into this alley, and then there's a flash of light, and like we don't exactly see what happens, but there's a flash of light, and as like Koji has walked past it at this point. And then all of a sudden, out of the alley comes... Okay, how to best describe it? They are in they're in like a neon yellow bodysuit.
Yes. And they're wearing like a wrestling mask, but it's like a wrestling mask sort of over top, like the blank bodysuit.
Yes. Yeah. So you're not seeing anything underneath. And they are wearing like gloves and boots and like the trunks, like a Speedo. And
what I like is that they've got the trunks and like the boots and the mask. These people do not have belts.
Yeah, no. They're just like, it's part of them, I guess. And so they, and like this dude just charges at Koji. And it's like, we have no idea what's going on. Like it's clearly a bad guy. And they're like, he charges Koji, and then we get our first actual fight. And now it's a little bit funky because you can tell like Sentai combat has as kind of a defined like aesthetic. You know what I mean? There's also like jumps and spins and flips and stuff. But it is a pro wrestling show.
Yeah.
So well, go ahead. No.
Yeah. So what we get here is, how in the show that we're normally watching, Ohranger, like everyone sort of, like they have general karate skills as they're fighting the monsters there, but they also throw in like their own stuff, right? Like Shohei has like boxing moves.
Right.
And Yuji has flips. It's that sort of thing. Like he's got a general sort of like kung fu style, but he's throwing in a lot of like wrestling knee strikes and like
sort of, I think he gets in like a chop. He gets in like one or two chops.
Yeah. He does at some point like get up on top, like because they're on the street, right? So he is running away from them. He runs up onto like the front bumper and then hood of the car and does a backflip.
Oh my gosh!
It's like this. It's like a moonsault from the second rope, but it's off of the hood of a car.
Listen, this is real world, Matt. This is real world wrestling, and so it's pretty quick. I mean, we've talked about it at length, but it doesn't actually take a really long time. and he sort of body slams the dude, and then after he body slams him, there's like a little shimmery glow around the wrestler, and it's not only is it not a wrestler, it's like a teenage girl.
Yeah. And like she is back in her normal clothes with sort of like an ill-fitting wrestling mask on like her head.
Over, and like her hair's coming out underneath it.
Yeah, because like this is not a look that was designed to accommodate a wrestling mask.
Right. So we don't really know what's going on yet.
Yeah. But do we want to say what's going on just to like alleviate confusion, or do we want to wait until we get to it in the episode?
No. Let's just wait till we get to it in the episode. So Koji like looks at her and she's super confused, and he helps her up, and he's like, "What's going on?" And she says, "I don't know. Like, what's going on with this mask? Who are you?" And he's trying to help her, but she obviously is also super freaked out.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Yeah, she does not seem to be injured
whatsoever.
Yeah, like the monster that was in that space was injured, but she is now fine.
Right. And so she just books it. Because she also has no idea what's going on. And Koji's like, wait, no, like, are you okay?
I want to help you. And she's like, I don't know who you are, but I get the feeling that you just threw me, so I'm out of here.
So, like, I'm out. So Koji goes home, and we just sort of see, like, we don't actually, we assume he goes home.
Yeah.
We just see the next morning him walking into the gym.
Yeah. And as he walks into the gym, we see other people now, because it's, like, this is the daytime.
Right.
He was there last night, like, because he was stuck late mopping, because he has to do that.
Yeah.
But the other people at the gym don't have to do that. They're just here training.
Yeah.
So we are introduced to a couple other characters who are going to be important very soon.
Yeah. Huge surprise. Huge surprises, guys.
Yeah, I know.
It's the other Rangers.
Yeah.
They also are color coded. Well, we don't see all of them.
Yeah. We get, who's here?
We see the Yellow Ranger, who is a lady named Mizuki. Mm-hmm. And she is, I really dug it. It was cool casting, because even in Ohranger, where it's Juri and she's the big strong one, she's still like a pretty, like, the actress herself is fairly petite.
Yeah.
Mizuki is, like, she's a stocky lady.
Yeah.
Like, I would not want to fight her.
Yeah, this is like...
I mean, I don't want to fight anybody.
No, sure. But, like, think sort of like a Japanese Nia Jax. Like, obviously not...
Yeah, that's a good... Not quite
that big, because, like, Nia Jax is, like... A towering, unstoppable force.
Yeah,
Dude, we haven't talked about it yet on the show, but I went to Raw last week.
Oh, yeah.
And Nia Jax was there. She was wrestling Mickie James, and like the match itself was only okay, but like seeing in person like how much taller she is than everyone else.
Dude,
like, in the ring with her.
I love watching Nia Jax wrestle, because like everybody is trying moves, and she's just like picking people up with one hand and like hurling them across the ring. It's amazing. So Mizuki is she's like our Nia Jax. So she's there. The Blue Ranger is there. Obviously, like, they haven't revealed their Rangers.
Sure, but like they are in this ring, and they are like color coded.
Doing stuff. There's Takeshi, who is the Blue Ranger, and then Yuriko is the Pink Ranger. So we will there is one more Ranger. We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there in a little bit.
What I do love about Takeshi, the Blue Ranger, is that he is, like, we will find out that he is our team's resident high flyer.
Yeah.
Takeshi trained in Mexico.
Yep.
And he is always wearing his mask.
Yeah, and he like so remember, oh my gosh, why can I never remember characters' names from season to season?
Dude, I was
the
just...
Black Ranger, the Black Kaku Ranger from Kaku Ranger, who... Jiraiya, thank you. Jeez. So just like Jiraiya kind of like periodically throws in English stuff, Takeshi is throwing in Spanish stuff.
But like very basic.
Like basic.
This is like Chris Claremont Spanish.
Right. I think he refers to Koji as compadre at one point. So, and he always has his mask on, like you said, which is amazing.
And it's like his mask is not just a wrestling mask version of the Ranger mask that they will all be wearing later.
No.
It is a separate look entirely.
And then, so we just kind of, we see them wrestling, and then we see in the corner, sort of looking over this whole thing, is another dude, an older dude.
Yes.
And he is, he's dressed in all white, and he is, like, he seems like he, like I said, he's just sort of watching everything, and we get a shot of like him sort of like looking at Koji, like, the
Sure.
it's the ranger, like he's sort of sizing him up, like, I wonder. So they're just wrestling for a minute, and all of a sudden we hear sort of like ruckus happening outside.
And we hear the same sound effect that we heard in the early part of the episode when there was the flash of light from the alley and that monster came out.
Yes. So we hear the same sort of sound effect, and there's like flashes of light coming in from the window, and we go outside and we see not one, but like a ton of these. We're just going to call them jobbers.
Yeah, they've got a name. It's like the something fighter, right?
Well, we will find out later that they are the Durago fighters.
Yes, but that is boring. These guys, like, they're
jobbers.
They're wrestling jobbers. They are local enhancement talent who is here to like.
Oh, that works, because they just gotta grab whoever's there to like turn them into this Durago fighter.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a really cool idea.
So so the other three run out. So Mizuki, Takeshi, and Yuriko all run out, and then as they run out, we see Hiro come in. Hiro is our Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Hiro runs in. He's like, they're running
Hiro
out.
drives in.
Yeah.
In his like convertible, his like bright green convertible.
Yes.
Like skids to a stop, hops out, and just starts yelling at people.
So they immediately they get into a fight, and Koji, he runs out, and he's like, what's going on? These guys again. And they are all like, while they're fighting, I think it's, I don't remember who, I think it's Mizuki, says something like, wait, you already fought one of these. And this is all happening while they're fighting, of course. So they're running and jumping and flipping and having this conversation off to the side, and Koji sort of jumps into the fight.
Yeah,
and while they are fighting, we see up on top of a roof the monster appear.
Yes, we do, Dave.
Okay, so we get a quick title card, and the name of this monster is Power Slam Wolf.
Yes, it is.
Power Slam Wolf is sort of like blue-gray, but with neon. His color scheme sort of is blue-gray, but with neon orange highlights.
Yeah. And I really love, and I hope that this is something that happens through the rest of the show. This dude is a big Wolfman monster, right?
Yes.
But he is also definitely wearing, wrestling boots.
Yes.
And, he's got something around his waist that's, kind of, in place of,
belt,
trunks.
Right,
but,
belt-esque.
Yeah, but, this dude is here to fight, but specifically, he is here to professional wrestle.
Yeah. So they do a little, like they do sometimes, they sort of, animate. So he sort of, jumps off the roof, and then there's, a flash of light, and he lands. And when he lands, he actually does do the camera shakes and all the Rangers fall down.
Yeah, so he has done his power slam. Now, that's not what a power slam is.
No, listen, he slammed and it was very powerful.
That's true. That is very true.
And he is undeniably a wolf. So
hey, listen, this all checks out.
so Power Slam Wolf goes, and the Rangers they start to fight. And they are, it's not actually going super well.
Yeah, so, they're all running into fight, and, they're sort of going at them one at a time, and Power Slam Wolf is picking them up and throwing them off. Koji goes to run towards them, but the old guy from earlier, who is their coach.
Yeah. I think we assumed that he was their coach. He hasn't actually, he hasn't identified himself as their coach yet. But.
Koji is running in to fight, and, the coach is suddenly, there in front of him, puts out his hand to, stop. No, Koji, you need to let these other 4 do this. Go back inside where it's safe.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We should, totally forgot about this. When Koji showed up, there was, a brief, he was who are you guys? So the Rangers that are there now are not the normal wrestlers that were, that are, normally in the
gym.
Yeah.
Sorry, we should have mentioned that.
Yeah. And so, and then they're like, don't worry about it. You just, whatever. Anyways.
Right.
So the coach sends him back inside, and when they do that, we see he looks over at the Rangers and sort of gives them the nod, and then once Koji goes back inside and he's not there anymore, we get our first transformation sequence.
Yes. So, the way that this works is they are all wearing belt buckles.
Yes.
Right? So, sort of like in Ohranger, but they don't take the belt buckle off to do the transformation. The buckle stays on. They press something on it, and it expands to the size of a championship belt.
Right. There's a little animated sequence where you see it happen. And so here's the deal, is that all of these Rangers are... They're natural phenomenon themed.
Yeah.
So Mizuki is the yellow Quake Ranger.
Yes.
Takeshi is the blue Tsunami Ranger. Hiro is the green Tornado Ranger.
And Yuriko is the pink Typhoon Ranger.
Yeah. And so they all once they are transformed, once they are henshined, the fight sort of turns around on Power Slam Wolf.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually go super long, but once Power Slam Wolf is slightly defeated, he just teleports away.
Yeah.
He leaves.
But we do get a nice showcase of everybody's fighting styles. Right. So we see the yellow Quake Ranger doing just throwing hands.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
The 2 that we hadn't really seen wrestle before, Yuriko and Hiro. Yuriko, I'm sorry, no, we did see Hiro. We hadn't seen Takeshi.
Yeah, that's right.
So Yuriko is a technical wrestler, submission person. She's not just holding people on the ground, but she's spinning around them and putting tying them into knots and stuff.
Yeah. But what we do see is that as they are kind of finishing this fight, we see Koji, off to the side, we see Koji sort of pick his head up and looking through the window, what is going on? So Power Slam Wolf disappears. And then we flip back inside and we see the gym. And the Rangers are all just sort of walking in. And Koji's okay, hold, what is happening? Who are you? And the Rangers are what are you talking about? No, he must have just run away when he saw my sweet moves.
Yeah.
And then the coach walks in and he says Rangers, it's cool. I wasn't sure and I wanted to check it out. But Koji, he is the one. And the Rangers are all what? What do you mean?
Well, how could Koji be the one?
He's only a young boy, right?
Yeah.
He's only a young boy, rebel. And it says, and the coach, who we find out his name is the Angel.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty great. I'm assuming that's a reference to Il Santo?
Well, El Santo is the dude, and one of the classic Mexican wrestling dudes.
Yeah.
He does dress. I don't remember if he dresses all in white or if his mask is white or silver.
I think it's silver.
Okay.
I am pretty sure.
But if it's not an intentional nod, it's at least pretty similar.
Yeah. And it says and he says, he is the descendant of my old partner.
Oh man.
So we don't know what that means yet. So Koji again is what is going on? And so the angel, he walks over and he sort of like hits a button, like a hidden button, and a door slides open. And he's like, if you really want to learn how to wrestle, like, you know, give me your clothes. Come with me if you want to live. So Koji's like, what's going on? This is definitely like shades of Murder Basement.
This is definitely weird, but he definitely does need to learn how to wrestle.
He super needs to learn how to wrestle.
If there's one thing I know about Koji so far,
is that
he's just got a deep passion for professional wrestling.
And
even if he ends up getting murdered in the basement by like weird space monsters, he will at least have, you know,
he will have learned
the art.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's all worth it for the wrestle.
So we go downstairs, and the other Rangers sort of like file in, and what we see hidden below the wrestling gym is
another wrestling gym.
Wrestling gym. It's not even like a high tech, like it's not like a super wrestling gym. It's not like high tech. It doesn't seem to be mystical. It literally just seems like it is another wrestling gym.
The lighting is different.
And
like the color scheme on the ring and the ring ropes look a little like fancier, I guess.
I am not completely sure of this. It might be, though, that the secret wrestling gym is literally just the upstairs gym shot from a different angle, and they changed the ropes out. That might be true. I'm not totally sure about that.
I would not be surprised.
So they go down, and what we do see now, there is one big thing that is down there, and that isn't upstairs, is that there is a big display case, and it has this big wrestling belt in it. And it says, again, in English, for reasons that I don't really understand, that it says in English, Galactic Federation Champion. Mm-hmm. And Koji's like, what is happening? And the angel says, listen, here's the deal. So I'm paraphrasing, but it turns out that professional wrestling is not just from like the early like 18 or 1900s.
Yeah, it is not just like a descendant of catch as catch can wrestling.
Yeah, it is that is when it became public.
Sure.
And it has been around for I guess minimum 1,000 years.
Yes, because 1,000 years ago our tale begins.
So it turns out that professional wrestling we're in sort of like a Last Starfighter situation.
Yeah.
Where the coach is always, the angel is 1,000 years old.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that in a second.
We're going to get to that in a second.
But don't get it twisted. This is an immortal wrestler.
So
kept alive forever by the strong power of his wrestling.
Yeah. So it turns out that like galactic conflict is settled via wrestling?
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, you know, thousands of years ago, like, the armies became so large that if they waged war, it would destroy the whole galaxy.
Blah, blah. Yeah.
So instead, they came down to the fighting of, like, a single champion.
Yeah.
And the way they do this is they just train up, like, the finest wrestler of the world and then send them off to fight for the... Like, you know, if they can win whatever tournament, then their planet is spared.
They're good. So the entire galaxy apparently is ruled by one dude.
Yes,
who is the greatest wrestler in the galaxy. And his name is Champion Durago. So this is why they're like the Durago fighters. He's the Champion Durago. And Earth is the last remaining free planet, because the angel, their coach, is the only dude who has defeated Champion Durago.
Yes.
And that's why Earth remains free. And like, according to the bylaws of the Galactic Federation, like, he beat him 1,000 years ago. And so now, like...
But so long as he is still alive to like champion the Earth, then they can never come for him again.
Yeah, but like he's like, I'm dying. Finally, I guess.
Sure, like his 1,000 years of wrestling magic has sustained him this long until he's been able to like find a new like group of champions to raise up.
Yeah. And now we also find out, and Koji's like, so wait a minute, like, you know, kind of where do I come in? Blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that the Angel did not defeat Champion Durago alone.
Yeah, this was a tag team match.
This was a tag team match. And Koji's like ancient ancestor, who we do see in like a little flashback, conveniently looks identical to Koji.
Yes. Listen, if there's one thing I know from television, it's that not just Sentai, any TV show, the one significant person in your like line of ancestry will always look exactly like you.
Yeah. So his name, and I can't remember his name, but he was the Angel's tag team partner, and together they defeated Champion Durago, but Koji's ancestor like dies in the process.
Yeah.
And so the Angel has...
Which, you know, you would think that would have, like, disqualified Champion Durago murdering a man in the ring.
You know, listen, the rules of galactic wrestling are you know, they're different. They're
sure,
different.
That's true.
Listen, Matt, if he dies...
He dies.
He dies. It's...
No holds were barred, Dave.
Yeah, for real. So Koji's like... Amazingly, like... Because, like, Ryu from Dairage was like, no way, I'm out. Like, I don't know what's happening. This is nuts. Koji is down.
Yeah.
Koji is down to clown. Like, he is into this.
Yes, he is immediately ready. He's like, give me that belt. Give me whatever is happening here. And not give me that belt. That belt was clearly like the galactic belt. Like, that one is special. You can't just have that one.
Yeah, but he's into it. And so, they give him a belt, and they're like, all right, well, now we need to figure out what's happening.
Right.
Because like that clearly was not Champion Durago. So like what's up? So they go outside, and because this is Sentai, they get the answer immediately.
Sure.
So
oh, by the way, we had somewhere in here was the commercial break.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes. I mean,
it's not important. It's in my notes, and so I'm telling you.
So when they go outside, there is a giant like floating image of we assume Champion Durago.
Yes. So Champion Durago. It's this big screen, right?
Yeah.
That's just sort of like floating above the city. It might. I think it's actually the underside of a ship that's like floating in that is like shooting down these lasers.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And this dude's look is intense.
Yeah. He is. I mean, so he is an alien.
Yes.
He is a humanoid alien. But he does have two sort of like the Bi Beast. Like he has two faces.
Yeah.
So he's got one face on his face.
Yeah.
But then he has a second face sort of like on his
like upper chest region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like it's like shades of the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Well, okay, so here's what's weird about it, is that it's not just one guy with two faces. It's almost as though his face is his regular, like, that's the dude, right?
Yes.
Like, that is Champion Durago. The face on his chest is, like, his manager.
Yeah.
And so, like, he's holding one microphone up to his face and one microphone up to his chest. And he's like, I am the Champion Durago, and I am here to do whatever. And then he, like, holds the microphone up to the chest, which is, like... I wish that it was possible for them to have fit a giant pair of sunglasses on this chest face.
Yeah.
Because it would have been so perfect.
Yeah, it's not... It's sort of... obviously, like, the big chest face is... It looks a little bit weird. But yeah, so, like, sort of Macho Man Randy Savage, but if all of his streamers were replaced with, like, technology...
Yeah.
Does that make sense? He's got, like, Apocalypse. He's got, like, some hoses, like, running from place to
Listen,
place.
you gotta
and, like,
have some hoses.
You gotta
Dave.
have some hoses.
How else are you gonna move those fluids around?
I guess, man. He is, of course, wearing giant boots, giant wrestling boots, of course. And he also has a huge belt on.
Yeah. And it is of a similar style to the one that we saw in the basement, but it is like, you can tell that it's newer, right? Like, you can tell, like, this is the newer version of the thing that is down there.
Yeah. And so he declares that he is here to conquer Earth, and that but that they are not, basically, like, they don't deserve a shot at the title. Like, he is here to conquer them, yes, definitely, but they do not yet deserve a shot at the title. I get, which is sort of a weird, like, literally passive aggressive way to go about it, Champion Drago. But that they do not yet deserve a shot at the title, and so, like, they will have to defeat, like, if they want to save their planet and defeat him, that they are going to wrestle up through the ranks that he himself has created.
Yeah, he has put together, it's not a tournament because there's not like brackets, because it's just one group fighting like a bunch of monsters. It's more like a battle, like a Royal Rumble, but instead of a new opponent entering every 90 seconds, it's a new opponent entering every episode,
once a week,
basically.
once a week.
About once a week.
We would assume. And so he says, like, from the planet of the Wolfmen, it's sort of a weird translation thing, but from the planet of the Wolf. So I guess this is like a Justice League of the future style wrestling thing, where, like, all of the monsters that they're going to be fighting are the wrestling representative of, like, their planet.
Are you talking about the Legion of Superheroes?
Sorry, Legion of Superheroes. Thank you. This is like a Legion of Superheroes style thing, where, like, so Power Slam Wolf is, like, the best wrestler from
the planet of Power Slam Wolves.
The Power Slam Wolf planet. And then we see Power Slam Wolf, and he appears on, like, the edge of this ship. Like, so yeah, it is a ship. And they do the same thing, where he sort of, like, turns into, like, an animated thing, and he, like, jumps down.
Yeah. Like, what's very cool is that as he is leaving the, like, coming out of the door of the ship, it's not just like a bay door opening. There is an entrance ramp. Yeah. Like, sort of like a balcony that's an entrance ramp. So, like, you know, like, the evil music starts playing. Instead of getting the title card, like, over the screen, we get the title card for him showing again, but it's on, like, what is essentially the Titantron?
Yeah.
Like, behind him. It's very good.
Yeah. So he lands, and like, the Rangers all kind of run out, and then we get our first full, because of course, like, they all automatically know exactly what to do.
Sure. The four already did know.
Right, yeah, that's a good point. Koji just jumps in. Like, he automatically already knows what's happening.
He is the ancestor of, he is the descendant rather. Of Angel's tag team partner. Right. It's in his blood.
So we get our first full transformation sequence. And since it's the first, like, big one, they milk it. Yeah, they milk it. They go all out. So we find out that Koji is the Red Lightning Ranger.
Yes.
And so he does his thing, and everybody gets, like, a little background animation, like, intro. And so there's, like, we see him, and it, like, spins around, and, like, there's lightning flashing, but it's, like, red because it's animated. And so he's the Red Lightning Ranger. So again, and then, like, Mizuki does, like, a big stomp, and she, like, does the thing, and she turns in, she's the Yellow Quake Ranger. And we're getting sort of, like, stock footage happening behind all of them. And then they all do, like, a big pose.
They're like, Puroresu Sentai Ringuranger.
Puroresu Sentai Ringuranger.
But it's like they all strike wrestling poses of various sorts. Like, it really works.
It's really good. You know, this is why I always wanted to see a show like this, because, like, so much of professional wrestling has developed over the years to be very good on television.
Right.
Like, this looks great.
Yeah. This works both as Sentai and as wrestling.
Yeah.
So they all transform, and we see Champion Drago again, and he says, let the match begin. And then he hits a big switch from his, like, we see him in his, like, ship control room, I guess. But he's like, let the match begin. And he hits a big button. And we get a shot of the moon.
Yes.
And the best way to say it is that, like, missile silos open up.
Yeah, like a couple of craters on the moon, like, hollow themselves out.
And these rockets shoot out.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. These rockets shoot out, and okay, so either Champion Durago hit this button, like, ahead of time, or these rockets move very, very fast, because it actually does take a minute. Like, it takes a little bit to get from Earth to the moon.
Dude, remember in Ohranger when they tried to throw O-Robo into the sun, and then 30 seconds later he was back on Earth?
So these...
Also, Rita Repulsa always threw her wand from the moon.
That's right,
And that was
I
just
forgot
her,
about that.
That was just her throwing it.
Yeah.
This, at least, there are, like, rocket engines on these things.
So these rocket engine... And predictably, there's 4 of them.
Yes.
They shoot from the moon, and then they land, like, around the Rangers.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, it's like an energy, it's like animated energy, like, shoots between them. Mm-hmm. But then they do actually create, and they're like, this is not a wrestling ring sized. Sorry.
Yeah.
They are landing, like, city blocks away from each other. Mm-hmm. Well, it would be city blocks. It is in a quarry.
Yeah, well, sure.
I don't, like, we were literally in the middle of a city, and then we're now in a quarry.
Listen, man, you gotta start off strong.
Right.
You gotta give the people what they want, and what the people want is more quarry action.
So we see there's, like, animated energy that shoots between them.
And then once the energy has sort of formed, then it, like, coalesces into ring ropes.
Right, and then there are, like, physical ropes.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, so it's like, so these 4 rockets have become the ring posts, and now they are in this sort of, like, gigantic makeshift wrestling ring.
Yeah. Man. So then it is, then it's the Rangers versus Power Slam Wolf, but, and then there's a bunch of jobbers there as well.
Sure.
So...
Now, where they have come from, I have no idea.
Yeah, dude,
because these are all transformed, like,
people.
Maybe they're the people who work at the quarry. Somebody has to work at these quarries.
Yeah, presumably. So what happens, so, like, Power Slam Wolf jumps into the ring, and then, but it's wrestling, mm-hmm. So you can't, like, they can't all fight Power Slam Wolf at the same time. So, so the 4 of them, it's Koji, obviously. Like, Koji is gonna fight this dude. So the other 4 Rangers are fighting jobbers, and it's kind of a funky battle sequence, because what we see, so Koji jumps in, mm-hmm. and he starts fighting, and he drops, like, you know, like, they're fighting back and forth, and, like, he drops some moves. But then he gets, you know, like, Power Slam Wolf gets some hit in.
Yeah.
Gets a hit in. And so he goes, like, sort of flying. There's an explosion.
Sure.
Because why not?
It's a powerful slam,
It's
Dave.
a very powerful slam. And he is a wolf. And so Koji gets, like, thrown to the side, and he taps out.
Well, okay. He doesn't tap out.
Oh, sorry, no, he doesn't tap out. He
tags out.
Tags out, thank you. That's very different.
I just want to be very clear that Koji has not already given up.
So he tags out.
Yeah.
And Mizuki jumps in.
So, like, she hops in, and the fight really sort of changes, because at this point, like, you know, Koji is, like, the new hotness, but he's also very, like, green, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the Red Ranger,
red,
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he is new to all of this.
Right.
So he's very strong, but not very trained up.
Yeah.
Whereas Mizuki is, like, very, very good at her job.
Yeah, she
and
knows
her job is hurting people very badly.
Yeah. So she, I think she picks up, like, a big rock and she hits him with.
Listen, if there's one thing that Yellow Rangers love, it's throwing boulders.
Dude, they love it so much. So we get Mizuki in there, and then, like, obviously this is the first episode. So, like, we're going to see everybody.
Sure.
So we see Mizuki, and, like, she gets some shots in. They go back and forth. This actually is a little bit unusual. I think I feel like it's kind of an extended fight sequence for a very first episode.
Yeah.
But I think because of, like, it seems like the way that they set it up, this kind of has to be the way it is.
Yeah.
So, like, she jumps in, and then Hiro jumps in, and then I think it goes Hiro, Yuriko, and then Takeshi.
Yeah.
Jump in.
Have we talked about Takeshi yet, really?
A little bit. Yeah,
Okay, so
but...
Takeshi is... so everyone else has, like a really noticeable style, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait, quickly, I should say that their masks look super, super cool.
Oh, yeah.
They're, like, the visual cutout on their mask is sort of like a stylistic representation of their, like, of their natural thing. So, like Koji's is like a big lightning bolt, obviously. I think everybody's is cool. I think Mizuki's is actually the coolest because it's just like it's like a seismograph. Like, I don't know how the heck she sees out of it.
Hey, man, I don't know.
But it's like this big cool line with like a seismograph thing in it. I just thought I wanted to throw that in there. Anyways, go ahead.
It does kind of make Heroes look a little weird because he's the green tornado, but like a cartoon tornado just kind of looks like a triangle. So he just like has a big triangle cut out on his face. Like it's not quite as good as the other
ones. It like
ones.
waves a little bit.
Yeah. But Takeshi does not seem to have like a noticeable wrestling style so much as he has a noticeable wrestling persona.
Yeah.
Because like he is just like, he must have trained in like WWF American wrestling.
Oh man, you had said Takeshi. You're talking about Hiro.
Oh yeah. Sorry. But he's like, his entire deal is just being like a total loudmouth, like brash.
Yeah.
He's just like cutting promos on people in the middle of these fights.
Yeah, so
like I don't know how effective that is as a wrestling style, but it does seem to like distract them enough for him to like hop in and like get in a shot.
Yeah. So the camera work on it is actually pretty cool. We do get, because they are like, we're flashing sort of back and forth between what's like kind of what's happening in the ring and what is happening outside as like they are continuing to fight the jobbers. So then we see the angel sort of like appear on the sidelines, and he's like, Koji, trust yourself. And then so like Koji, like, because that's what it takes.
Yeah.
So then like
You gotta believe, man.
you gotta believe, and so Koji like runs over and sort of like tags in, and he does a hit. He sort of like knocks Power Slam Wolf back, and then he runs back, jumps up on the ropes, like sort of bounces off of them, does like a big high jump, and then does it's our first super move.
Yeah.
It is lightning elbow. And dude just drops the people's elbow from like 30 feet, but with lightning.
Yes. It's extremely good.
It's very, very good. So then that is, so Power Slam Wolf goes down. And then, that's pretty much it. Like,
yeah, that's kind of it. Like, we don't get giant robots in this episode because it's the first episode, and they probably got to like figure that out a little bit later.
Yeah. There is we should say he doesn't just go down. There is a robot umpire that appears on top of the ship and is like counting him out, and then he's out.
Yeah, it's cool. He goes like 1, 2, 3, and when he hits 3, Power Slam Wolf explodes.
It's a pretty final way to lose a match.
Hey, man.
So Power Slam Wolf goes down, and Champion Durago is just like, "Bah!" And then the ship like lifts off. So the rockets take off again, and then the ship disappears. Like it flies back into the sky.
So I don't know if there are more than 4 of those rockets, or if it's just the same 4 getting shot back and forth.
I don't know. I'm pretty cool with either version.
Right.
Either version of that.
Either it's astonishing like economy of resources, or it's a moon full of like weaponized ring posts, like missiles. And I like both of those options.
I just say either version of that is deeply and truly beautiful. So that's kind of the end of our first episode.
Yeah.
There is, as you know, like we get a little like post fight scene, and it is just it's them in like murder gym, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's just like them in murder gym, and they're like, you know, they're like wrestling, and like, you know, Koji's like skipping rope and some other stuff, and the angel is just sort of like, and he's sort of like looking at the belt, and then that's it.
What I do like is so that's the end of the episode, and then we get like the credits, and they're at the end of the credit sequence, because you know, like the credit sequence is always like related but not like very closely related to what's going on. So there's a lot of like scenes of them like jumping off of park benches and like running at the beach. But the very last scene of the credits sequence montage is like all of them standing together like in the gym, and then somebody just hands Koji the mop because Koji still is like the new guy, so he has to do all the mopping.
He's like, and then that's the end. So, man, guys, if anybody knows where we can find more of this show, like, please let us know.
I desperately need this.
So real quickly, Matt, should we, since it's kind of a one-off, does Power Slam Wolf go on the Creature Royale?
Okay. I don't know if I want to like put him on the list for us to like gauge against later, but I am curious and wondering like if we were to, where would he go on the list today?
Okay, so...
And my feeling... Okay, here's the thing about Power Slam Wolf. He's a wolf and he slams and he's very powerful.
He's very powerful. So okay, so, you know, I'm not thinking like super, super high.
Okay, where do you think he goes in relation to other first episode monsters?
Oh, man. Well, Baron String is actually pretty low.
Yeah.
And Power Slam, I'm going to say... So there's Baron String, there's Kappa and Roku Rokubi.
Yeah, I think Kappa and Roku Rokubi are probably our top first episode monsters right now. Because other than that, it's like Jet Dimension. And
they're at 73. And dude, I think Power Slam Wolf is better than them.
Okay, well, who is sort of above them? Give me the next couple.
Just right above them is Traffic Light Dimension, Bara Devil, Tsunekake Baba, the sandwich. I don't think I like Power Slam Wolf more than Tsunekake Baba.
Okay.
She's just such a weird, like, magic breasts that cause like she's too amazing.
Yeah. Like Power Slam Wolf is good, but like he's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
I dig Power Slam Wolf more than I like Traffic Dimension.
Okay, yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, cool. So that would put Power Slam Wolf at spot number 72, which is a pretty respectable show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Okay, sorry, guys. If anybody knows where more of this show is,
I'm begging you.
But that, Matt, is gonna do it for.
Episode 1. Episode 1 of what were we saying? Casino Ringuranger?
Casino Ringuranger, yeah.
Before we finish up here, I want to remind you all you can email the show at supersentaibrothers@gmail.com. If you want to give me updates on future episodes or check out the things that we're talking about on Twitter, we are at Super Sentai Bros. If you like the show, please remember that shining in the iTunes review section, there are 5 stars. Rate, review, subscribe on wherever it is that you get the show. That's what's going to help new people find it, probably. Once again, we are the Super Sentai Brothers. I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
And we'll see you next week for the greatest show on Earth.
Ringurangers wins!